If you thought that Aumsum was peak AI slop, then may I introduce to you DimSum, the world's first Aumsum clone. I'm so confused, guys. Who is DimSum? What is DimSum? I mean, I thought it was a type of Chinese food. And most importantly, why is DimSum? Let's explore Aumsum's newest rival. This is DimSum time. I can't believe that I saw DimSum. I felt appalled. It's worse than Aumsum, and it's like watching with your eyes closed. You're the opposite of education. It's DimSum Time is a brand new YouTube channel, just a month old. The channel currently has just 7 subscribers. By comparison, its Aumsum time has 4.62 million. But whilst Aumsum is a channel in decline, DimSum is a channel on the rise. As the channel description reads, at its DimSum time, we strive to bring you fresh, exciting videos every day that will not only entertain, but also teach valuable morals and lessons. Whether you're here for laughs, creativity, or inspiring stories, our animated content is perfect for audiences of all ages. Subscribe to its DimSum Time channel for the latest animated stories, educational cartoons, and fun-filled adventures. Okay, DimSum, I'm gonna give you a chance and smash that subscribe button. Don't let me down! Despite DimSum's rather grandiose sounding mission statement, I can't tell if DimSum's a serious YouTube channel trying to educate kids, or if it's a parody mocking Aumsum's usage of AI. Let's watch a little bit more of DimSum and find the hell out.
As he sat up on the soft grass in the park, he couldn't help but yawn. It was a big, dramatic yawn that made his whole body stretch and his mouth open wide.
When he pulled the swab out, he froze.
Quick reminder to hit subscribe if you're enjoying the video so far. Thank you.
A thick yellowish streak stretched across the tip.
You think I'm gonna vomit?
Okay, so I can't lie, it ain't great. I do find it interesting that they're using the same AI narrator as Aumsum uses, but maybe that's not so surprising when you think about it. Given that Aumsum has moved into a really distinctive AI look and rhythm, it's become a simple template for other channels to copy. And when I say copying, I mean absolutely shameless. The main character is basically Aumsum's stick figure. You know, black hair, red tie, white shirts, dark trousers. Same vibe, same energy, slightly jankier though, because it's probably been through cheaper AI. The questions follow the exact same formats too. What if our legs got super long? What if we replaced water with fizzy drinks? Aumsum's been doing these what if scenarios for years, and DimSum's just doing the same thing. Oh, and the hashtags after every title? Yeah, Aumsum does that too. It's not even trying to hide it. DimSum could be counting on people searching fast, clicking without thinking, and only clocking afterwards that it is not the original. That sort of mix-up can mean extra views, watch time, and ad revenue, although admittedly DimSum is a long way from being monetized, without having to build a brand from scratch. Copying the format also helps the algorithm know where to stick the videos because it clearly fits the same bite-sized science explainer lane. And if the whole pipeline is even more AI driven than Aumsum, if that's even possible, it's quicker and cheaper to pump out loads of similar episodes, so a copycat can keep pace and ride the wave. And yet, I can't shake the feeling that this whole entire channel is just a way to take the piss out of Aumsum. Yes, DimSum might be doing it with a bit of cheek, leaning into the style to highlight how odd or bland it can feel when literally everything is machine made. But honestly, here's what makes DimSum so baffling. Genuine parody, it usually telegraphs itself somehow. DimSum, it plays it completely straight. There's no winking at the camera, no exaggerated absurdity that signals we know this is ridiculous. Which leaves us in this bizarre limbo, where it could be either a sincere but terrible, genuine attempt at educational content, or the world's most commitment-heavy satire project. Either way, borrowing a known style is a shortcut to attention, whether the aim is to nick casual clicks or take the mickey out of the AI era, or shall I call it error. And I do want to make this crystal clear, DimSum is objectively worse than Aumsum. Even the AI version of Aumsum. And I think that's because whilst Aumsum is using paid AI animation programs, DimSum, which looks a lot more low budget, is almost certainly using free ones. On the one hand, free tools usually run smaller models on cheaper infrastructure, so you tend to get lower resolution and fewer ways to steer motion and timing. Free models also often cap the features that actually matter for animation, like reliable character identity, keyframe control, pose guides, and proper motion stabilization, because those are expensive to build and run well. On the other hand, paid platforms, which Aumsum almost certainly uses, can afford bigger datasets, better curation, and extra fine-tuning for temporal coherence, so frames match each other instead of flickering or randomly changing look. Ultimately, free AI animation programs are much less likely to consistently replicate animation styles across videos, which explains why the style of DimSum changes so damn much, even from one video to the next. And look, I hate to say it, but there's an even grimmer angle here. What we're witnessing is a proper race to the bottom. Aumsum abandoned quality animation for AI shortcuts, presumably to pump out more content faster and cheaper. They may have U-turned on that slightly recently with human-made animation, but the reputational damage has very much been done. Now, DimSum is undercutting even that by using even worse AI tools. Free ones with worse outputs, less consistency, more obvious glitches. It's genuinely a depressing economic model. Find whatever generates the most views for the least effort, then find someone willing to put in even less effort for even fewer views. And eventually, you hit bedrock. Content so cheap to produce and so worthless to consume that the algorithm gives up recommending it altogether. We might be watching that moment happen in real time. Yeah, it's all a bit bleak, isn't it? But before we wrap up, I need to try and answer that all-important question that I asked way back in the intro. Why is Aumsum doing this? Well, given the fall of channels like Aumsum who have destroyed their reputation using AI, smaller educational channels might feel that there is a gap in the market. When a big animated edutainment channel like Aumsum loses goodwill, it leaves a lot of viewers feeling a bit burned out by the whole format. If people think the output is turned into AI churn rather than being properly written, researched scripts, they start looking elsewhere for something they can trust. DimSum is trying to slip into this gap, recognizable enough to be associated with peak Aumsum, with the name just about new enough for people to give it half a chance. Ultimately though, DimSum will never fill this gap because DimSum is no better than Aumsum. In fact, it's very clearly much, much worse. It doesn't seem like you're Aumsum. I don't believe that you are Aumsum, and it's like watching with your eyes closed. Did you forget that your education? At its peak, Aumsum inspired many copycats. So many channels wanted its style, its humor, its view counts. And Aumsum didn't just stumble into those millions overnight. It took years of building trust with parents, teachers, and kids who genuinely loved the content. 10 years ago, Aumsum was uploading multiple times a week, each video carefully crafted with distinctive hand-drawn animation and scripts that made science feel accessible and fun. The channel became a classroom staple, recommended in forums and shared on educational platforms. But that was then. Now, Aumsum has torched all that goodwill by pivoting to the same AI slop that DimSum is attempting to replicate. Which is why now, in 2026, Aumsum has just one copycat, DimSum. So, DimSum isn't trying to copy peak Aumsum, they're copying current Aumsum, which is already bottom tier content. And yes, I know Aumsum had a comeback, but they still used AI for one bloody year. We can't just forget that. Anyway, DimSum's content is like photocopying a photocopy.
Everything's a copy of a copy of a copy.
Each generation gets blurrier, more degraded, ultimately more pointless. The fact that DimSum feels able to beat Aumsum at its own game though? Well, that just shows how the mighty have fallen. And I hate to have to do this, DimSum, I really do, but unsubscribe. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm Snipe Snap. Snipe, snap, out. See you soon.